Howdy, guys. So I'm inside today because it's a little bit wet out there. But I'm here today to introduce your assignment for the second part of Chapter 9. We dealt with the first part, attraction, how people come together, and how people ultimately come apart. There are a couple of different models for us to consider. I shared with you the songs from the elevator model, and we also looked at the stages of relationship development and decline as discussed in Adler. But it turns out that maybe looking at relationships as a set of stages or levels that you reach might not be the best way to understand them. Maybe they're better understood as a series of tensions that exist. Sometimes we're going to be on this side, and sometimes we're going to be on that side. Well, on page 273, we begin a discussion of the dynamics and dialectics of relationships. We know that dynamic means changing. What does dialectic mean? Well, the best way to understand it is that it's two opposing forces pulling in different directions. And if you think about it as a spectrum, it might be a little bit easier for you to wrap your head around. But on page 273, three different dialectical tensions are mentioned. Down at the bottom, there's a little bit of a chart, and then they explain them in the following pages. But you have integration, separation, stability and change, and expression and privacy. You'll see that they are broken down into two different levels. First, internal, and second, external. Now, let me tell you what this means so you can navigate it. The internal dialectic is what's happening inside your relationship. So those forces at play inside the relationship, inside the friendship, inside the romantic relationship. And then the external dialectic are how those forces are at play outside the relationship. Let me give you an example. If you start with the expression and privacy example, and I've mentioned this to a few of you in class, if you think about a famous television couple, Marshall and Lily, on How I Met Your Mother. They tell each other everything. They tell each other everything. They tell each other what they did in the bathroom, right? Everything's on the table. So they are very open when it comes to the dialectic. When it comes to the dialectical tension of expression and privacy, the internal dialectic of openness and closedness, they're very open with each other. They don't hold things back. But if you go to revelation and concealment, which is the external dialectic, you'll see that maybe they don't tell everybody in the world or the people outside of their relationship the same things that they tell each other inside the relationship, right? So this is something to think about. Maybe we're having a fight and I say some things to you maybe that I'm not proud of. Am I also going to say those same things publicly on Twitter? We all know some people do. We all know some people take their fights to other friend groups or on the internet. And we know some people that, you know what, don't share family business. How many of you come from a family where you just don't talk about your family problems to other people? That right there is this dialectic in action. So what I want you guys to do for this assignment is I want you to consider these dialectical tensions. And then I want you to record a short video in which you tell me about one of them playing out in your life. So my girlfriend and I are very different. She does things the same way all the time, right? When she gets up in the morning, the very first thing she does is she eats right away. And I like to see how my day is going to play out. Maybe today I'll have breakfast. Maybe today I won't. I'm a much more adventurous type. And as you might imagine, those ways of dealing with things are often at odds, right? But how you find a way to get them to negotiate and work together is the interesting part of the relationship. So I like to do new things. She likes to do the similar thing. But what if we can find a way to do similar things in new and exciting places? And that's where we've come together to find ways to travel and see the world and run marathons all over the place together. So we found a way through it. So the book gives you those three tensions, and I want to lay on top of it one extra tension. And I believe that there is a tension that exists between honesty and the relationship itself. At any given point, you are choosing either to be honest or you are choosing to value the relationship. Now, I don't believe that this one is testable if you push it too hard, but I want to give you the opportunity to explain that maybe this time you did not tell somebody that their food wasn't very good because you wanted to preserve the relationship. If you think about it in terms of communication competence, appropriateness, maintaining the relationship, and effectiveness, getting what you want, aren't necessarily always the same thing. So you have those dialectical tensions plus my fourth dialectical tension, honesty in the relationship. I want you to consider them, read over them, think over them, and definitely by the time you're done, an example will pop into your mind and you're going to say to yourself, yeah, this happened to me. This happened to me with my friend Susan. This happened to me with my ex-boyfriend. This happened to me. And you'll be able to share that with us. You're going to record an example, 1 minute, 3 minutes, no longer than 5 minutes, and throw it up into the Google Drive. And then you're going to watch somebody else's video and respond to it in the discussion board. Okay? So that's your homework for the second part of chapter 9. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me right away and let me know if there's anything that I can do. Cheers.